Purna Namaskar to all Gurus present here. अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरादसं ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चतुर्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ध्यानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं तद्गुरुं तं नमामि।
Thank you so much, Anaghaji, for such a beautiful beginning of the day. We are truly mesmerized. I would now like to invite Professor Shashi Balaji, a renowned Indologist, member International Advisory Committee at Civil 20, President, International Center for Cultural Studies, India, and Dean, Center for Indology at Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, for the welcome address.
Om Sthita Pragyo Yatirayam Yas Sadanandamashnute Brahmanyeva Vilinatma Nirvikaro Vinishkriya. I bow to all the Gurus who are persons of study wisdom, having merged in Brahman, who enjoy everlasting bliss without any modifications of activities. It's a great opportunity for us to be involved in the programs of C20 under G20 and the working group Diversity, Inclusion and Mutual Respect. On behalf of International Center for Cultural Studies, Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan and Karma Foundation, it's a great opportunity for me to welcome all the Gurus here. This is an opportunity when great nations, financially very powerful, the G20 nations have get together. They are going to get together, and Bharat is hosting this event. Every year they get together to discuss the global problems, discuss and rediscuss. Sometimes they find solutions and sometimes they don't find any solutions. The problems are there, but still we have gathered here to try our best to listen to the Gurus, so that it's a difficult task to break the shackles of greed and ego, the shackles of unsatiable hunger for power. The power is often captured at the cost of others, exploiting nature, but it cannot go on further. Let us be together. Sangachatvam, Samvadatvam, Samvo Manansi Janatam. So today, once again, I welcome all the Gurus and all those who have joined us online and also through YouTube, that Let us be together to listen to the voice of the great gurus who have dedicated their lives for the well-being and upliftment of others. This is only Bharat, where the rishis and munis, the gurus and acharyas, they sat on the river banks and pure knowledge downloaded. And they bequeathed to us a huge heritage. Thousands of years have rolled over the history of dedication, enlightening people, serving the world without discrimination, without dividing into two, the yours and the ours, the believers and the non-believers. I welcome you all, the Reverend Gurus, on behalf of all those who have joined here on this special occasion. My humble request is to all of you to please show us the path. You are the light. Asatoma Sadgamaya, Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. With Kotisha Pranam, our heartfelt welcome to you. We need the message from you. Uttishtata, Jagrata, Prapya Varanya Bodhata. The whole world is looking towards you to find the solutions. Please guide us. Namaskar. Pranam, Kotisha Pranam to all of you. I welcome you once again. Dhanyavad.
Thank you so much, madam. Without further ado, let us move ahead with the much awaited session with our Guruvars. It gives me immense pleasure to invite Acharya Dr. Lokesh Muniji, founder of Ahimsa Vishwa Bharati, a versatile thinker, creative writer, poet, social reformer, and an excellent orator. Acharya Lokesh Muniji was honored with Ambassador of Peace by Universal Peace Federation in Interfaith Conference 2014, organized at United Nations. In the year 2010, Acharya Ji was also awarded National Communal Harmony Award by the Government of India. He has made endless efforts to establish Bhagwan Mahavir values of non-violence, unity in diversity, and harmony in the society. Please welcome Acharya Dr. Lokesh Muniji.
सबसे पहले मैं इंटरनेशनल सेंटर फॉर कल्चरल स्टडीज, भारतीय विद्या भवन और कर्मा फाउंडेशन को बहुत बहुत साधुवाद देना चाहता हूं कि उन्होंने G20, C20 के इस अवसर पर सभी फेथ लीडर को एक प्लेटफॉर्म पर आमंत्रित किया है। और जिस विषय पर हम चर्चा कर रहे हैं, मैं इसके शुभारंभ में इतना ही कहना चाहूंगा कि अहिंसा धर्म का शुभारंभ ही होता है। हम अपने अस्तित्व की तरह दूसरों के अस्तित्व को स्वीकार करना सीखें। हम अपने विचारों की तरह दूसरों के विचारों का आदर करना सीखें। मैं यहां पर यह भी स्पष्ट करना चाहूंगा कि हम अपने धर्म का ईमानदारी पूर्वक पालन करें, किंतु दूसरे धर्मों का भी आदर और सम्मान करें। यही हमारी भारतीय संस्कृति, भारतीय संस्कृति की मौलिक विशेषता रही है, अनेकता में एकता। बहुलतावादी संस्कृति हमारे देश की खूबी है। वसुधैव कुटुंबकम का भाव हमारे अंतर जगत में निहित है, उसको भारत की आत्मा ने आत्मसात किया है। मैं समझता हूं दुनिया में जितनी आपाधापी दिखाई दे रही है, संघर्ष जिसका अभी शशि बालाजी ने जिक्र किया, मैं इस अवसर पर यह कहना चाहूंगा कि G20, C20 के इस प्लेटफॉर्म ने जो हमें अवसर दिया है, इस अवसर का अगर हम सदुपयोग करें और धार्मिक गुरु इस बात को अपने एजेंडे में लें, क्योंकि भारत के संदर्भ में अगर मैं बात करता हूं, आज भी धर्म गुरुओं के प्रति एक विशिष्ट आदर और सम्मान का भाव है। प्रतिदिन हमारे यहाँ पर आस्था के स्थल पर लाखों करोड़ों लोग मंदिर, मस्जिद, चर्च, गुरुद्वारा आदि आदि उपासना के स्थल पर जाते हैं। और ऐसे में हम धर्मगुरु अपने अनुयायियों का सही मार्गदर्शन करें तो सरकारें करोड़ों रुपए खर्च करके जो काम नहीं कर सकती वो काम आसानी से हो सकता है। साथ ही साथ पूरी दुनिया में जो माहौल है, इस माहौल में इंटरफेथ डायलॉग का बहुत बड़ी आवश्यकता भी है और अहमियत भी है। दुनिया की अनेक समस्याओं के संदर्भ में अगर मैं कहूं, ग्लोबल वार्मिंग, क्लाइमेट चेंज, जलवायु परिवर्तन आज प्रमुख समस्या है। उस समस्या के समाधान में भी हमारे सभी धर्मों के अंदर प्रकृति और पर्यावरण के प्रति जो दृष्टिकोण रहा है, मैं एक जैन मुनि होने के नाते ये कहना चाहूंगा, भगवान महावीर ने सठ जीव निकाय का एक मौलिक सिद्धांत दिया। उन्होंने कहा पृथ्वी, पानी, अग्नि, वायु, वनस्पति ये सब सजीव हैं, इनका अनावश्यक उपयोग न करें। और इसलिए उन्होंने भोग और उपभोग के सीमाकरण का सिद्धांत दिया। मैं समझता हूं दुनिया उस सिद्धांत को अगर आत्मसात करे तो आज पर्यावरण की बहुत बड़ी समस्या का समाधान हो सकता है। किंतु इसके लिए हम सबसे पहली अपनी जीवन शैली पर जब तक आत्मावलोकन नहीं करेंगे और स्वयं से शुरुआत नहीं करेंगे, उसी तरह से गरीबी, अभाव, असमानता एक बड़ी समस्या है। जैन दर्शन कहता है भगवान महावीर, और उन्होंने ये जैनों में सबसे बड़ा आकर्षण है मुक्ति का, निर्वाण का, मोक्ष का। और उन्होंने इसको धर्म से जोड़ते हुए कहा असंविभागी न हो तत्समोक्षो। जब तक अगर हमारा भाई भूखा सोया है और हम भरपेट खाते हैं तो हम मुक्ति के, मोक्ष के अधिकारी नहीं हैं, अधिकारी नहीं हो सकते। उसी तरह से हिंसा, आतंक एक बड़ी समस्या है, लेकिन अगर हम अपने एजुकेशन सिस्टम में वैल्यू बेस्ड एजुकेशन को प्राइमरी एजुकेशन से जोड़ें तो मुझे लगता है, आज मैं इस समय अमेरिका की धरती से संबोधित कर रहा हूं, गन वायलेंस की यहाँ पर बहुत बड़ी प्रॉब्लम है। पिछले दिनों ही राष्ट्रपति बाइडेन से जब चर्चा हुई, मैंने निवेदन किया कि गन तो एक इंस्ट्रूमेंट है, मूल प्रॉब्लम है मस्तिष्क की। इस मानव मस्तिष्क के अंदर एनिमल ब्रेन भी मौजूद है, जहां पर पार्श्विक वृत्तियां जन्म लेती हैं, तो इसके अंदर नियोकॉर्टेक्स परत भी है, जहां पर मानवीय और दैविक वृत्तियां जन्म लेती है। आज अपेक्षा इस बात की है कि प्रारंभ से एजुकेशन सिस्टम में हम वैल्यू बेस्ड एजुकेशन को इंट्रोड्यूस करें। तो मैं इस अवसर पर पुनः भारतीय विद्या भवन को, कर्मा फाउंडेशन को बहुत बहुत साधुवाद देते हुए यही निवेदन करना चाहूंगा, आइए हम सब मिलकर के G20 ने, C20 ने जो ये प्लेटफॉर्म उपलब्ध कराया है, इसका सदुपयोग करते हुए हम सब एकजुट होकर के, क्योंकि राजनीतिक दल 15, 20, 25 मिलकर के कॉमन मिनिमम प्रोग्राम बना करके 5, 10, 15 साल एक साथ सरकार चला सकते हैं, तो भला धर्मगुरु मिलकर के, फेथ लीडर मिलकर के काम क्यों नहीं कर सकते? आसानी से कर सकते हैं। और इसलिए मैं आपको आमंत्रित कर रहा हूं, आओ मिलकर बैठे, आपस में बात करें, 4 कदम ही सही चलने का साथ करें। यूं तो दूरी से दूरी बढ़ती जाएगी, कभी तो हम खुद से खुद की मुलाकात करें और हमें धर्म को अध्यात्म से जोड़े, धर्म को सामाजिक कुरीतियों के निवारण का माध्यम बनाए, धर्म को विज्ञान से जोड़े। धर्म और विज्ञान एक दूसरे के पूरक है, विरोधी नहीं है। इन सब का सदुपयोग करते हुए अगर हम दुनिया को बेहतर बनाने के लिए, इंसान को बेहतर बनाने के लिए प्रयास करेंगे तो निश्चित रूप से हमारी दुनिया और अधिक खूबसूरत होगी और ये G20, C20 का कार्यक्रम जो है और अधिक सार्थक बनेगा। मैं पुनः सभी पूज्य स्वामी परमात्मानंद जी सहित सभी हमारे स्वामी जी, हमारी बहन साध्वी भगवती जी आदि तमाम भाग लेने वाले प्रतिनिधियों को बहुत बहुत आभार और सम्मान व्यक्त करता हूं। ओम अरहम।
Grateful to you, Acharya ji, for sharing your beautiful thoughts and teachings with us and focusing on living in harmony with each other as well as with nature for the welfare of the world. Moving further, I feel honored, privileged, and blessed to request Swami, Pujya Swami Paramatmanand Saraswati Ji, convener and Secretary General, Hindu Dharmacharya Sabha, and the founder of Arsh Vidya Mandir to enlighten us. Param Pujya Swami Paramatmanand Ji is a senior disciple of His Holiness Swami Dayanand Saraswati Ji. Swamiji attained comprehensive learning in Vedanta, Sanskrit, and Yoga under the guidance of Swami Dayanand Saraswati Ji. An insightful teacher and guru, Swamiji has been teaching scripture and delivering discourses to cross sections of the society across India and the world for last 42 years. In a quest for proliferation of Vedic culture and values, Pujya Swamiji traveled length and breadth of the world to grace numerous conferences and events as a keynote speaker. His talks reveal clarity and a deep understanding of human life. Pujya Swamiji's personal life reflects simplicity and love for one and all. Please welcome Pujya Swami Paramatmanand Saraswati Ji.
Heartily welcome from my side, Ashok Pradhan.
स्वामी जी आप म्यूट पे हैं.
I'll do that. Namaste to all of you, more so to all spiritual leaders and the speakers, Acharya Sri Lokesh Muniji and other religious leaders. You see, the human mind naturally loves diversity and unity. If you look at the nature, it is full of diversity. Flora and fauna, fruits, everything is diverse. The natural forces are diverse. So it is a part of the creation. When it comes to us, we also want variety. That's why new and new inventions and developments are coming up through technology. Classic example is mobile. Every year, new iPhone has to come. Every year, new design has to come. So we want diversity. You want diversity in fashion design. You want diversity in food. So people go out to eat all kinds of food, Mexican, Italian, and Thai food, and Punjabi, and South Indian. Typical Gujarati, they go out and eat all kinds of food. This is universe. See, the problem lies, I would not say the word tolerance. We love diversity. But when it comes to culture, when it comes to religious, there is intolerance. Unfortunately, one model fit for all, the statement of United Nations way back in 50s, they tried to give one model. There is so-called standardization going on, even on economic field. Even the political field. Most of the countries are now democratic. The whole role of, the modus of government is to enhance the economic worth of the country. GDP is more important. Bombay Stock Exchange, New York Stock Exchange Index is more important. So this is how we are, the design, eating also, dressing also. But I feel, you see, the whole problem is ignorance. Ignorance always divides people. We need to know each other. And more we know each other, more we can be together. Ignorance causes fear. Ignorance about one's own culture and religion, ignorance about other culture and religion. Not only fear, later on, in case of religion and in case of culture, there is an emotional investment. When you invest emotionally too much, then you lose objectivity to think, objectivity to analyze, objectivity to look within. And perhaps the major factor which prevents us from doing this today is some kind of extremism, incapacity to think. This says incapacitated humanity to look within and look without objectively. It is this attitude people try to justify what is unjustifiable, which is so vivid, it is illogical. And I would say it has become a snake pit for the devastation of humanity and various cultures. We end up pointing fingers at others. This cannot bring about a conclusive resolutions of the conflict. We need to look at it different. What Muniji said, I appreciate that. But unfortunately, let me be honest. There are a number of these religious conferences are taking place, but it is missing, I would say, cognitive honesty. You are good, I am good. That doesn't solve the problem. We need to kick up our heels with open heart, with an objective intelligence, and with respect for each other. Mutual respect to accept the diversity, and an attitude of inclusiveness rather than dismissing and rather than denigrating others. Modern scientific development has created a whole atmosphere of connectivity, an openness, a dialogue. So you are connected globally. But as they say, this connectivity is like a kiss of the devil. Why? Because it is misused by some people having their own agenda. It is misused by some people by having some obsessive ideas about the things. Inclusiveness and mutual respect are inevitable for harmony and the peace in the world. I may sound little different or arrogant, but I am proud to say India doesn't need this. We have 900 languages. Food habits are different. As we say in Gujarati, bar gawe boli badla. Even in Gujarati, you travel few miles and Gujarati changes. That's true for every state dialect. Dresses are different. Food habits are different. Customs are different. Even our astrology is not the same. There are 3 or 4 Hanuman Jayantis across India. But we lived in harmony. That is because our dharma teaches us the whole creation is nothing but the manifestation of one divine. Unless you discover that non-dual divinity, or unless you accept that non-dual divinity, you cannot accept the diversity. You cannot have inclusiveness and mutual respect. This whole mindset of exclusivity, this is all for lip service. People say we believe in one God. But the hidden statement is, my God is the only God. That is a problem. Inclusiveness means respecting. We talk of human freedom. I don't understand this. We talk, the freedom is so much, this LGBTQ, this new thing has come up. You have freedom to choose your sex. You have freedom to wear the dress. You have the freedom to eat whatever you want to eat. You have freedom to relate to whosoever you want to relate within the frameworks of the law. Why can't I have a freedom to believe in whatever form of the God, believe in whatever religion I have? Why can't I have a freedom to live my own country? This exclusivity has created all kinds of tensions, the hidden agenda, and hidden agenda to be something 1+. That doesn't solve the problem. When I talk of which I haven't been attending so many international conferences. When I talk of this mutual respect and I talk of inclusiveness, they have coined a word, religious. This blessed word, religious freedom, isn't a problem. They have interpreted subjective. By the word religious freedom, they have freedom to do whatever they like. It is true, you have freedom, but the word should be interpreted objectively. You cannot You cannot interpret the words the way you want. And here, if I state the words of my teachers, Pujya Swami Dayananda, I would like to quote. If a person has to disown his or her own tradition, if a person has to disown his or her own religion, if a person has to disown his or her own relatives, his or her own culture, civilization, heritage, it is a travesty. It amounts to destruction of a person. It is rank violence. It is inhuman. There must not be any sanction for any human being under the pretext of religious freedom to or sanction of being persecuted to make another person, uproot another person from his or her religion, her culture, her heritage, her belief system. And we have to uniformly accept this. India is not Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Though I appreciate that. India is world, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina, Sarve Santu Niramaya, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu. We think of the whole universe. And I would like to quote, we have diverse gods also. On one side you have Shiva and Vishnu, one side you have Ganpati, Parvati, Devi, all. And in the God also there is diversity and inclusion and oneness. Look at Lord Shiva family. And every year the gods are increasing also. We are inclusive of more gods also. Look at this Lord Shiva's family. Look at Lord Vishnu. Ganpati travels on a rat. It is his vahanam. I am sure when they have family get together, they must not be sitting on their vahanas. They will be sitting up and the vahanas would be standing aside. The rat is a food for the snake and the snake is a food for the peacock. That is a Kartikeya's vahana. They still live unity because there is Bhagavan. Humanity has to learn what is Hindu vision. Ekam Sat Vipra Baudha Vidanti or Isha Vasamidam Sarvam. That vision has to be permeated across humanity. It is one divine manifesting as many. Then we have no problem in accepting diversity. The word inclusiveness is not necessary. Since it is one non-dual divine, you have respect for everyone because it is manifestation of divinity. Therefore, Hindu society respects mountains and rivers and cows and buffaloes and rats and the snakes and elephants. That is vision needs to be communicated. And I'm sure when India takes the lead to pass on this spiritual vision, we will be Vishwaguru. It is the right thing to do. The organizers have done an excellent job. Civil society's voice should be heard by the political leaders. The state government hears the voice through local media and through elections. But since it is one word, they say in corporate jargon, since 90s I've been training management groups in multinational companies. I know they call it a global village. Since it's a global village, this voice of civil society should go to them that it is one divinity that is manifesting in all. And when India passes this vision, India is nothing but Vishwaguru. I hope and pray that we may achieve that our glory or the divine vision that we are gifted with it, the heritage, invaluable heritage, cultural and spiritual wisdom that we have, may we become instrumental in sharing with the humanity, not for one-upmanship, but for the global peace and harmony. Namaste, and my heartfelt thanks and congratulations to Shashi Balaji and her team for taking initiative and giving me this opportunity to share my views. Namaste.
Thank you so much, Swamiji, for your words of wisdom and to stress on the importance of objectivity, of respecting each other, and to appreciate the individual differences while embracing diversity for a harmonious society. We are truly blessed to hear your thoughts. Before we move ahead, I would like to request each one of you again to switch on the camera so that we can take a screenshot together. Swamiji has another meeting, so he would be leaving in some time. I would love to have a picture together with all our guests. And moving on further, now I would like to invite Swami Avyanandji from Chinmaya Mission. Known for his profound thinking, captivating oratory skills, and relatable examples, Swami Avyanandji is known for his talks that address the challenges faced by youth, professionals, and young parents on their journey to self-discovery. A proficient scholar of Sanskrit and the scriptures, Swamiji delivers enlightening discourses in English, Hindi, and Gujarati. Inspired by the teachings of Swami Chinmayanandji and the vision of Vedanta, Swamiji has chosen to dedicate his life to spreading the wisdom of Indian scriptures to all. Over to Swami Avyanandji.
Hari Om, Namaskar everyone. Hari Om. Om Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Today's topic for discussion is under the C20, diversity, inclusion, and mutual respect. When we look at our scriptures, I speak from a background of Advaita Vedanta as expounded by Bhagwan Adi Shankaracharya ji and the entire Parampara. We see in the knowledge of Vedanta, everything comes up, springs forth from that one indivisible truth. And that one reality being the cause and the substratum of this entire variety of multiverses, that itself is the secret of getting this inclusive thinking and mutual respect in place right away. The knowledge of Vedanta, our Upanishads, very clearly state that all this variety is actually made up of the combinations of the 5 elements, which are further divided based on their propensities or the gunas, sattva guna, rajoguna, tamoguna. And in this entire combinations, we have this variety which is infinite. So this infinite one indivisible truth gives rise to all this infinite varieties of living beings and inanimate things that we see all around us. So when we talk about inclusive thinking, we understand this diversity itself has sprung forth from one. So how can it not be inclusive? How can it not have mutual respect? Upanishads say, Tasmad Atmanah Akashas Sambhutah Akashad Vayuhu Vayor Agnihi Agnerapah Adhyas Prithvi Prithivya Oshadayah Oshadibhyo Annam Annat Purusha. So how did this whole creation come into being? What happened? If we look at it, the secret lies that the substratum, when we get an idea of what the cause is and what the substratum of this variety is, we automatically get connected to the one, and which will automatically make us understand this beauty of diversity and also accept each other in our own place. In the Bhagavad Gita, there's a very beautiful word which is uttered by Arjuna in the 11th chapter after seeing the Vishwarupa. When we talk of Vishwarupa, it is the cosmic form of the Lord, that one Lord who manifests as this entire cosmos, this variety of beings and things. And in that place, Arjuna very beautifully points out in one word, and he says, Sthane. This word Sthane means everything is perfect in its place. Nothing needs any intervention or correction. Everything is perfect. Everything is happening in rhythm. in beautiful harmony. It's only we that sometimes interfere and disturb this balance and harmony. Actually, everything is thane, everything is perfectly staying in its own place. So when we understand this and have this vision, we automatically are able to respect each other, have this inclusive thinking, and respect this and enjoy this diversity in a better way. From the standpoint of devotion, also, when we look at this subject, we understand that a devotee sees just the Lord. In fact, in all our devotional texts, Bhakti Granthas, we find that there are only two characters, whether it is Ramayana, Bhagavad, all these different Bhakti Granthas also we find that there are actually just two characters, and which is one is Bhagwan and other is Bhakta, the Lord and the devotee. And for every devotee, his or her focus is just on the Lord. And this is the language of devotion. And when my focus is just on that one Lord, who pervades everything, who is taking care of everyone, who is the father and mother of the universe, I really don't mind the diversity. In fact, I respect and bow down to this beautiful universe that has been given to us. A parent provides for the child, and the parent does not give the same design of shirts or same type of things to the child. Even a mother cooks food, the mother gives variety to the child. So that's what is beauty. So the parent of the universe is the Lord, and he will give variety. But all that variety, when we say that it is coming from the Lord, my focus shifts from this variety to that one Lord. And automatically, I am able to think inclusively and respect all the diversity that I find around me. Even from the sense of grammar, if you look at the grammatical understanding also, it's very beautiful to note that it is said, Nahi Shabdanam Arthabhar Kvachit. No word has to carry the burden of the meanings or the interpretations. In the sense, every word can be interpreted in numerous fashions. And that is what is a freedom that has been taken by the Indian philosophers, scholars, teachers, which has given this diversity even in the spiritual field. However, discovery of the truth was the focus of all these various philosophers who have created this entire Indian knowledge system, which is a great repository of knowledge that we have inherited, and hopefully we will also pass on to the generations to come. So this, grammatically looking at it from the language perspective also, all these various words that we find, all this had the ability to be interpreted in various ways from different standpoints. And that creates this diversity even in our thinking. And all our thoughts influence our actions as well. So this beauty has been brought about even through our Shastras. We belong to a culture where open discussions used to happen among various philosophers. And these discussions used to happen with the understanding that we want to discover the truth and how each and every word has been interpreted from the scriptures. All of us believed in Veda. Most of our philosophies believe in the Veda or the scriptural texts. And these scriptural texts have the same words, but are understood in various ways. So from various standpoints, if we look at it, we belong to a culture which respects diversity and has an inclusive thinking inherently. All that is needed is to take this knowledge of the Indian knowledge systems to the generations to come, to the masses at large. And that's how we will be able to bring about this oneness. And Chinmay Vishwa Vidyapeeth is doing just that. We are making an attempt, and I invite everyone to join in this beautiful yajna of taking this Indian knowledge systems to the maximum people, especially the youngsters of today. Thank you very much for this beautiful opportunity and this platform for discussing on these various very, very relevant and important issues. And I'm sure the global leaders will be able to hear these voices and bring about some policy changes so that we can see a better world and gift it to the next generation. Hari Om, Namaskar.
Hari Om Swamiji, grateful to you for guiding us. Thanks for sharing the insights from...
Nice to listen.
Thank you so much for sharing the insights from Bhagavad Gita, Shastras, and our ancient scriptural texts to emphasize on the relevance of inclusivity and to bring oneness in society. I now take the privilege to invite someone who is known for her socio-spiritual bent of mind, keen dedication, determination, humility, and optimism. A senior spiritual leader, orator, and efficient administrator, serving as the director of Brahmakumari's Om Shanti Retreat Center. B.K. Asha Didi represents the Brahmakumaris on the Yoga Expert Committee of Ministry of Ayush, Government of India. A proficient orator, she has traveled worldwide to spread the message of peace and spirituality through many national and international conferences, interfaith conventions, and dialogues. Please welcome B.K. Asha Didi.
Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Good morning. Namaskar. Namaskar. Thank you for giving this opportunity to be one in the galaxy of spiritual leaders, religious leaders. Very rarely we get such opportunities where we can meet each other, although online, but still the vibrations, they make us healthier. By getting the vibrations, we become still better beings, and we love such gatherings. So, once again, Om Shanti and Namaskar to all of you for giving this opportunity to be with you. As the topic is what Brahma Kumaris believe and practice. We were listening to Swamiji, and I pick up a thread from there. We want to be one. And unless and until we keep in our mind an aim that we have to make this world a family, one world family. Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam. Universal brotherhood. We all aspire for it. But how do we achieve it? How do we get it? Unless and until we recognize our own identity. Sabse pehli baat, main kaun hoon? Who am I? We have so many labels, attachments, that I am so and so, so and so, so and so. If I live with that identity, my purpose is not going to be solved, not going to be achieved. And alas, nowadays, everyone is living with mundane identity. We know pretty well we are not this. We cease to be engineer, doctor, professor when we leave this body. We know this, but still we live with it. So Brahma Kumaris, first of all, practice that we are souls. I am a soul, spirit, soul, and the other person is also a soul. We look at each other as brother souls, children of one God, the Supreme Father, fatherhood of man, fatherhood of God, and brotherhood of man. With this philosophy, with this thinking in mind, we cross all the barriers. We ascend all the barriers of caste, class, nationality, religion, and so on. This is one of the reasons why we have been able to bring people together from 147 countries from all over the world. Because we do not talk of mundane identities, we talk of the beauty that lies within. We talk of the beautiful self, the soul, the master, and the beauty that is within all of us, all of us. It is the beautiful assets that God has given us. What are those? Wisdom, love, peace, happiness, power, and so on. All of us have all these beautiful qualities in us, but it is again a pity, due to body consciousness, recognizing the self as body and bodily things, identifying with them, body consciousness, we have invited for the self all these 5 vices that have been mentioned in Srimad Bhagavad Gita: Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Ahankar, Alasya, and so on. Today in the morning, I met a small little boy, 12 years of age, talking of artificial intelligence. I said, what a pity, what a pity. I'm not against it, but how about increasing our own powers, what is already within us? So the way to increase those powers is not artificial intelligence. The way to increase those powers is self-conversation, introspection, meditation, and we practice this in practical life. Raj Yoga that is being taught is Karma Yoga also. We say work is worship, but for most of us, worship, instead of worship, work becomes a worship. Instead of worship, it becomes a worship, where we have to face challenges, where we have to face tensions, and so on. In order to face challenges, what do I need? I don't need help from outside. What I need is empowerment of the self. When I empower myself, then I'll be able to face challenges. I'll be able to convert challenges into opportunities. Let me tell you, 99.9% of the people coming to the centers of Brahma Kumaris, they are karma yogis. They are not sannyasis like us. They are karma yogis. They are in their fields. This is how we have developed different wings to serve medical people, to serve engineers, scientists, women, children, youth, and so on. Because Raj Yoga is not something which has to be practiced at definite time and the rest of the day you are free. No, it has to be seen in our practical life. It has to be integrated into our practical life. This is what we do. And yes, all of you are also invited. Tomorrow morning, we are going to have a very big program in Indira Gandhi Stadium. And I take this opportunity to invite every single one of you with great love and respect. From 10 to 1, we'll be celebrating the year for positive change. Change is good. Change is always welcome, but positive. It has to be positive. And we'll also be celebrating International Day of Yoga. When we say yoga, we mean Atma or Paramatma ka milan. Yoga means relationship, addition. We believe yoga means the connection, relation between the soul and the Supreme Soul. And when we have this connection with Him, our vibrations, our mind becomes peaceful, vibrations become very beautiful, positive. It has an effect on the body also. So through meditation, yoga, health also becomes better, relationships become better, and the world becomes a better place to live. Thank you again, Dhwani, for giving this opportunity. Om Shanti.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was truly enriching, Didi. To learn that we are all souls and children of one Supreme Lord, which helps us to break the barriers and live a fulfilling life by introspecting on self. Grateful to you for your spiritual talk. Together as a universal voice to propagate these values. Moving on further, I feel blessed to now invite Sadhvi Bhagwati Saraswati ji. Sadhvi ji is a renowned spiritual leader and motivational speaker based in Rishikesh, India. She is the author of newly released #1 best-selling memoir, Hollywood to the Himalayas, A Journey of Healing and Transformation. Secretary General of the Global Interfaith Wash Alliance, President of Divine Shakti Foundation, and Director of the world-famous International Yoga Festival at Parmarth Niketan Ashram, Sadhvi ji serves on the United Nations Advisory Council on Religion and on the steering committees of the International Partnership for Religion and Sustainable Development and the Moral Imperative to End Extreme Poverty, a campaign by the United Nations and World Bank. A unique female voice of spiritual leadership throughout India and the world. She was recently awarded the Lifetime Achievement Award by US President Joe Biden for her lifelong commitment to volunteering services. Please welcome Sadhvi ji.
It's such a beautiful joy and a beautiful blessing to be together. And I'm so glad to see the way that you've all come together for this really critical topic of inclusivity, of oneness, because being different doesn't mean that we are not one. In fact, at the very core, very foundation of our spiritual culture, it says so beautifully, Ekam Sat Vipra Bahuda Vedanti. And it means the truth is one. The sages, the wise ones, call it by different names. But those different names don't change the fact of our oneness. Religion is meant to be that which connects us to the divine, connects us to the truth of ourselves, connects us to each other. But sadly, that energy of connection too frequently becomes an energy of disconnection, leading us instead of to oneness and unity, leading us to polarization, to disconnection, to divisiveness. And then it leads to violence. And that violence undermines the deepest, corest truth of our spiritual tradition, which is rooted in nonviolence, which is rooted in peace, which is rooted in love, which is rooted in compassion, which is rooted in this beautiful teaching that our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji has given for the G20, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The world is a family. So when the world is a family, clearly the divine, whether we say the Father, whether we say the Mother, whether we say the Supreme Creator, whatever word we use, clearly that supreme energy does not want us to be harming and to killing each other. And the divisiveness is falsehood. It's not truth. Our spiritual tradition is rooted in praying for truth, for wisdom, for light. So when we act out of divisiveness, when we act out of polarization, we're actually acting out of untruth. There's the beautiful mantra in which we pray, Asatoma Sadgamaya, Tamsoma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Oh God, lead us from the falsehood of our separation to the truth of our oneness. Lead us from the darkness of ignorance in which we suffer and in which we bring suffering.
Hello.
Can you hear me? Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. There is some intervention.
May I request everyone to please put their mics on mute so that we can listen to Sadhvi ji. Ashok ji, if you can put your mic on mute, please.
Ashok cannot hear because he's involved in something else.
Anyway, thank you very much.
Please, if everyone can please put their mics on mute, that will be a great help. Apologies, Sadhvi.
Please, Sadhvi ji.
No
Please.
problem, no problem.
Yeah.
So we pray to be led from this darkness of ignorance in which we suffer and in which we bring suffering unto others and unto our planet.
Mic off kar.
Hello.
We pray to be led from the darkness of ignorance in which we suffer and bring suffering unto others, to the light of wisdom in which our suffering ends and we become assets to our community, to our nation, and to our world. And we pray to be led from this false identification with just our physical body, its size, its shape, its color, but also its race, its religion, all of that, to be led from the identification as that, to be led to the true identification as soul, spirit, consciousness, divinity, that is one with all. So that is the highest ultimate truth. So when we live in polarization or in divisiveness, we're actually living in untruth. The divine creator has created this extraordinary creation of diversity. And what's amazing is that we're able to see and appreciate and love diversity in everything other than our fellow human beings. So we see and appreciate diversity in flowers. Nobody would expect a rose to become like a jasmine or an apple tree to give you oranges. We understand a rose is a rose, a jasmine is a jasmine, an apple tree gives apples, an orange tree gives oranges. Beautiful diversity. But sadly, with our sisters and brothers as humans, we want them to be like we are. We don't tolerate, we don't accept that diversity. But as deeply spiritual beings, when we recognize the perfection of the creation, we recognize that that perfection of creation includes beautiful diversity. But also amidst that diversity, there is still that foundation of oneness. All of the trees, all of the flowers that blossom differently are rooted in the same soil, one truth, but different manifestations, different flowers, different fruits, different races, different religions. The key at this point is for us to recognize that fear is that which tends to divide us. When we are afraid for our lives, for our survival, for our resources, that's when we tend to create and strengthen these walls and lines between us and them. We saw it happen during COVID. In the midst of fear of death, fear of lack of masks, lack of sanitizer, lack of medicine, lack of oxygen. What did we see? We saw so much polarization on the basis of religion, blaming each other for super spreader events, refusing to buy fruits, vegetables from each other's vendors because we were afraid. Whenever there's fear, basic human psychology tells us that fear leads us to contract into these boxes of us versus them. And I mention this today because as leaders of faith, it's critical for us to do whatever we can to bring about a world in which there is no need for people to fear for their very survival. Lack of water, climate change, environmental destruction that's leading to hunger, that's leading to water shortages, is going to be the source of the greatest violence. And the best thing that we can do to prevent that violence, to prevent that conflict, is actually to work together to protect and preserve our planet's resources so that we are not fighting over water, fighting over food, fighting over land, fighting over precious resources, and to really work together to provide a planet that is healthy, that is sustainable. Because of course, in our spiritual tradition, we believe when we say the world is a family, it doesn't mean just human beings. It means all beings. When we pray, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina, Sarve Santu Niramaya, means may all beings be happy and healthy. So in conclusion, let us remember that soil is one. Although the trees and the flowers and the fruits that blossom are many, like this body is one, but its parts are many, the eyes, the ears, the hands, the organs. But we are part of one inclusive self. And if any part of that self is sick or injured or has an infection, it's going to impact the entire self. So together, let us join our hands and join our hearts to keep our collective self, this beautiful Mother Earth, this beautiful Vasudha, when we say Vasudev Kutumbakam, that Mother Earth, of which we are all her family, to keep her healthy, sustainable, so that together we may live in even greater health and happiness and harmony. And thank you so much for this beautiful opportunity to be together today.
Grateful to you, Sadhviji. Grateful to you, Sadhviji, for the powerful and compassionate address. We shall pray to get out from the darkness of ignorance to light of wisdom and become an asset to the world. I would request each one of us to join our hearts and heads, as Sadhviji asked, to live in harmony with our Mother Earth. My honor now to invite Dr. Chinmay Pandya ji. Pro Vice Chancellor, Dev Sanskriti Vishwavidyalaya University. A doctor by profession, he returned to India heeding an inner calling. Dr. Pandya serves on the governing body of the Indian Council for Cultural Relations, is a member of the Advisory Council of the Ministry of Ayush, is part of the Syllabus Restructuring Committee of the National Council for Teachers' Education, and is one of the 5 institutional leaders from around the world to be a director of the Global Covenant of Religions. Apart from being the chairman of Asia's first and only Center for Baltic Culture and Studies and South Asian Institute of Peace and Reconciliation, he's also the founder patron of Rishihood University. He has also represented India in the intergovernmental meeting of the UNESCO on the issue of intangible cultural heritage. Please welcome Dr. Chinmay Pandya ji.
बहुत धन्यवाद ध्वनि जी. It's my absolute pleasure, honor and delight to be part of this very important and significant discussion. I would have absolutely no problem speaking in English, but for the purpose that, it is the G20 celebrations of Bharat, allow me to speak in the मातृभाषा हिंदी. एक ऐसा विषय भी है जो कि पूरे भारत के लिए और भारतीय संस्कृति के लिए महत्वपूर्ण है, तो मैं समझता हूँ कि जरूरी हो जाता है कि उस भाषा, उस भाव का चयन करें जो भारतीय हृदय को छू पाने की स्थिति में हो. आज जिस उद्देश्य को लेकर आपने इस कार्यक्रम को आयोजित किया है, उसके लिए मैं करोड़ों गायत्री परिजनों की ओर से और जो हम लोगों के 80 देशों में फैली हुई शाखाएं हैं, उनकी ओर से आपका भाव भरा धन्यवाद देता हूं, अभिनंदन करता हूं. और इस उद्देश्य के लिए, जिस उद्देश्य के लिए आपका ये फाउंडेशन कार्य कर रहा है और ये वर्ष जिस महत्वपूर्ण संयोग को लेकर के आया है, उसके लिए भी हृदय से धन्यवाद देता हूँ. यदि आज उस चिंतन की ओर हम लोग सोचे जिस चिंतन को लेकर ये वर्ष और ये सोच आई, तो एक घटना मुझे याद आती है जो वर्षों पहले घटी. 15 जनवरी 1897 का दिन था. स्वामी विवेकानंद जो है 5 वर्ष की यात्रा के लिए विदेश गए हुए थे, एंड ही रिटर्न फ्रॉम देयर. जब वो लौटे तो उन दिनों में श्रीलंका भारत का हिस्सा हुआ करता था. कोलंबो के तट पर उनका जहाज आकर के लगा और उनके पहुंचने के साथ ही घटना घटी कि उनकी जो कीर्ति थी वो पहले ही भारत पहुंच चुकी थी. तो लगभग कोलंबो शहर का हर व्यक्ति उनके दर्शन के लिए पहुंचा. शायद ही ऐसा कोई व्यक्ति शेष रहा हो जो उनसे मिलना न चाहता हो, उनको देखना न चाहता हो. तो जब वो स्वामी विवेकानंद के पास आया तो एक बड़ी जनसभा का आयोजन हुआ और लगभग हर व्यक्ति वहां पर उपस्थित था. और जो जनसभा के अध्यक्ष थे उनने स्वामी विवेकानंद का सम्मान किया और करने के बाद एक प्रश्न उनसे पूछा. He asked me a question. उन्होंने उनसे पूछा कि स्वामी जी एक बात बताइए, इतने दिनों तक आप विदेश रहे तो आपकी उपस्थिति का लाभ वहां के लोगों को मिला? वेद है, पुराण है, उपनिषद है, वेदांत है, सांख्य है, वो विषय जिनसे वहां के लोग सर्वथा अपरिचित थे, उन विषयों को जान पाने का सौभाग्य उनको मिला. तो उसका लाभ वहां के लोगों को हुआ, आपको क्या लाभ हुआ? तो इस प्रश्न का बड़ा प्यारा उत्तर स्वामी विवेकानंद ने दिया. उन्होंने कहा कि मैं इतने दिनों तक भारत की भूमि से दूर रहा हूँ, तो उसका सबसे ज्यादा लाभ तो मुझे ही हुआ. और वो ये हुआ कि पहले जिन बातों को मैं भावना के आवेश में आकर के सत्य मानता था, अब उनको पूरे प्रमाण के साथ सत्य मानता हूँ. पहले लोग बोलते थे कि भारत देवताओं की भूमि है, ऋषियों की भूमि है, अवतारों की भूमि है, संतों की भूमि है. उनकी हाँ में हाँ मैं भी मिलाता था, पर मेरा अपना कोई विश्वास उस विषय में नहीं था. अब इतने दिनों तक मैं भारत की भूमि से दूर रहा हूँ, तो उसका सबसे ज्यादा लाभ तो मुझे यही हुआ कि जिन बातों को मैंने पहले भावना के आवेश में आकर के सत्य माना, उन पर पूरा विश्वास हो गया है. बोले पूरे विश्व में यदि कोई एक देश ऐसा है जहां पर दया का, त्याग का, करुणा का, मानवता का, आध्यात्मिक उत्कर्ष का सर्वाधिक विकास हुआ है तो भारत का देश. और बोले पूरे विश्व में कोई एक देश ऐसा है जहां पर हर उस आत्मा को जो ईश्वर को पाने का प्रयत्न कर रही है, उसको जन्म लेने के लिए बाध्य होना पड़ता है और हुए बिना उसका कल्याण संभव नहीं, तो वो देश भारत का देश है. और आज नहीं तो कल इसी भारत के देश से ज्ञान की वो धाराएं फिर से बहेंगी जो अपने प्रकाश से पूरे विश्व को आलोकित करेंगी, आंदोलित करेंगी, उद्वेलित करेंगी. और निश्चित रूप से यदि उस परिप्रेक्ष्य में हम आज के समय को देखें तो ये बात ऐसा लगता है कि जैसे आज सुबह ही स्वामी विवेकानंद ने इस भाव को कह करके कही थी. यदि ज्ञान की, ध्यान की, योग की, तप की, वेदांत की, सांख्य की धारा यहाँ से न बही होती, एक से एक बढ़कर महापुरुषों ने आकर इस भारत की भूमि को धन्य न किया होता, तो शायद इंसान वो न बन पाया होता जिसको बन पाने का श्रेय आज इंसान को है। मानव को मानवता दे पाने का सौभाग्य यदि किसी संस्कृति को मिला तो भारत को मिला। और मैं कहूंगा कि आज के परिप्रेक्ष्य में यदि हम लोग इस दृष्टि से सोचें कि एक चिंतन हम लोग ले जा सकें, तो हमें ये ले जाने की आवश्यकता है कि उस भारतीय संस्कृति को जागृत और जीवंत कैसे किया जाए। उसको जगाने का जो समय है वो शायद आ गया, और यदि भारत की भवितव्यता यही है, नियति यही है, डेस्टिनी यही है कि भारत जागे, तो जागने के लिए पहले भारतीय संस्कृति के प्रति एक स्वाभिमान के बोध का जागना, आत्मसम्मान के बोध का जागना अनिवार्य हो जाता है। 3 महत्वपूर्ण सूत्र भारत की धरती से निकल करके आए। आप सोच करके देखिए कि जब पूरा विश्व ही लगभग एक दूसरे के ऊपर बर्बरता के साथ आक्रमण से जूझ रहा था, वाइकिंग्स से लेकर लैटिन अमेरिका, दे वर फाइटिंग लाइक एनीथिंग, तब भारत में 2400 वर्ष पहले बुद्ध आए, करुणा का संदेश सुना करके गए। अकेले बुद्ध ही नहीं आए, दधीची आए, मुदगल आए, रघु आए, दिलीप आए, अजू आए, इक्ष्वाकु आए, और एक से एक बढ़कर ऐसे महापुरुषों ने आकर इस सत्य को बताया कि हम लोगों को राजसी वैभव को त्याग कर मानवीय करुणा का आलिंगन करना अनिवार्य हो जाता है। वो सोच भारत की धरती से निकली, आत्मोत्सर्ग भूतेषु की निकली, मातृवत परदारेषु की निकली, परद्रव्येषु लोष्टवत की निकली। वो भाव जिसके लिए भारत जाना जाता है वो पूरे विश्व के कोने कोने में पहुंचे। इस सूत्र, इस सोच, इस संकेत को देने के लिए आज का दिन आया। तो मैं यही निवेदन करूंगा कि आपके इस कार्यक्रम के माध्यम से जो भी इस भाव को सुन रहे हैं वो भारतीय संस्कृति के स्वाभिमान को ग्रहण कर सकें, हर व्यक्ति तक वो सोच पहुंचे, भाव पहुंचे, ऐसी प्रार्थना, ऐसी अभ्यर्थना। प्रणाम।
Grateful to you, Dr. Pandya ji, for such an enlightening talk. And once again reiterate the fact that we need to focus on the Indian value system by imbibing the ancient Indian cultures. And thereby, once again, we hope and wish that we will once again become a spiritual world guru. Moving further, may I please invite Ms. Gele Venegian, who's the priest of ancient Baltic religious community, Romuva, from Lithuania. Ms. Gele is an ethnologist and would be sharing her thoughts on the feminine powers in ancient Baltic religious community in Romuva tradition. Please welcome Ms. Gele.
Namaste. Hello, everybody. I'm very happy to see you here again, all of you.
Ms. Gale, we can't hear you. You are on mute. Yeah, now it's.
Gabi Yashvantoye tuta tuta Ushkurta jibetya tuta tuta Ushgokta guabetya tuta tuta. Our mother nature is beautiful, rich, and full of diversity, and we are her children. Of different nationalities, with different cultures, different religions. All this diversity creates a beautiful world for us to live in. Therefore, we must accept the differences. Lithuania is a small country in this world with our cultural heritage and ancient faith. Baltic religion is the natural Lithuanian faith and is called many different things, including but not limited to paganism or ancient Lithuanian religion. Our ancestors protected their religion from enemies over 1,000 years ago. They fought for it in the battles. In the last couple countries, the old faith has experienced a revival. In 1992 and a free Lithuanian finally legalized the ancient Baltic religion. Why Baltic? Because our religious heritage is a part of not only Lithuania's history, but also that of Latvia, Old Prussia, Belarus. In short, we call our religion Romuva. I would like also to share some photos, maybe. Yeah. Sorry, just a minute. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, do you see? Do you see it? Our whole cultural tradition, folk songs, traditions, worldview, art, even in its modern form, is full of remnants of our old cultural heritage. Our ancient faith is reflected in our landscape, thousands of sacred places, alki, sacred wells and springs, oak groves. The roots of Lithuania's and our ancestors' religion are hidden in the depths of the history, in whose times when the first people settled on the shores of the Baltic Sea. Over hundreds of years, Lithuanians were able to preserve their inner religion, just as they keep their understanding of a moral and honorable life. The essence of religion is morality. Respect, gratefulness, and love have always been a part of humanity. Our ancestors' religion and morality is the reason for our existence. For 300 years, the Balts fought for their freedom and their fate. Their battles formed the nation of Lithuania. It is believed that millions of Balts, Russians, Jotvingiai, Lithuanians, Latvians died for their land. Nowhere else in Europe did Christianity encounter such fierce resistance as it did in the land of Balts. Baltic culture and religion is one of the few in Europe which has retained a constant spiritual heritage. The Balts view the whole world as one living united whole, steeped in the powers of the deities. For us, modern Balts, just as for our ancestors, the sacred text is nature itself, with all its fantastic diversity. The Lithuanian legends about the creation of the world tell us about the creator deities, with the Dievas, god of the sky, and Velinas, god of the earth and underworld. The birth of the world was the result of opposite powers working together. The oldest knowledge tells us of the mother goddess, and her descendants were the female goddesses of the Balts. The depth of Baltic culture hides the idea of darna, harmony. This is the root of many important concepts, expressed in the roots of such Lithuanian words as daryti, darbas, derlius, derėjimas, dermė, dora. That means to do, work, harvest, to go together, concord, morality. Peoples and natures, communities, families create harmony and morality through their concord. The words above show the importance and universality of harmony. It is the main goal of man and nature, achieved and held on to only through hard work and perseverance. All that is moral is good. And morality is expressed where people are in concord. Good is all that serves the family, the community. A moral person is one who can live in a community. This is the oldest meaning of morality. A moral society or community is one where concord, peace, and understanding reign. It is important to note that there are no absolutely good or evil gods or goddesses. Goodness is born with the interaction of opposite and different powers, with the active participation of man. This type of interaction is the basis for the existence of the cosmos. Evil is the lack of dharna, harmony, or the inability to create and preserve it. We saw the deeds of people aimed against nature and its order. This is why harming nature is clearly evil. The most important requirement for morality is respect for all life and its protection. From here comes the commandment, do not kill. Since the world surrounding us is alive, we must respect every manifestation. This is why Lithuanians honor the air, water, the sun, moon, fire, trees, birds, animals. It is a sin to do anything that disrespects life. This is why it's a sin to pollute water, a spring, for example, fire with air, to beat or harm the air. In human relationships, respect for your mother, father, and elders is most important. Lithuanian culture has preserved a very important characteristic of humanity interaction. This is talka, walking together without pay, bičiulystė, beekeeping based on moral, not economic ties, vaišingumas, welcoming and caring for guests, seeking interest, or living on injury was not only foreign to our culture, but amoral. Morality is best described not by a list of rules for good behavior or by punishments for bad behavior, but via a world outlook. In other words, life is predominant by how you view the world, with trust and love or with pessimism. Folklore preserves a special feeling of love for the world, which in its turn and tenderness with love replied and thanked moral people. Rimo, rimo, tuto, sutariela, sutariela. So thank you. Thank you so much for giving the opportunity to talk here. It was an honor. And thank you so much for my dearest friends here.
Thank you so much, Ms. Gail, for bringing out a unique perspective and beautifully showcasing the Lithuanian culture. You provided us a very practical meaning of morality, to live in community and respecting all lives. And I must mention that we were truly mesmerized by your chanting. Thank you so much. As we are nearing the end of the session today, I would now like to invite Sadhguru Cyriac Wali. Originally from France, he was a successful fashion model and used to travel the world modeling for internationally recognized brands such as Giorgio Armani and others. He was introduced to spirituality by his wife when he realized that only spiritual practice could give everlasting happiness. And they decided to move to SSRF Research Center Ashram in India and dedicated themselves to spiritual practice. By doing spiritual practice with complete dedication, he made rapid spiritual progress and reached sainthood in 2013. In 2018, he reached the spiritual level of Sadhguru. He has been traveling worldwide, conducting spiritual lectures and overseeing all of SSRF's activities. Many seekers have received invaluable guidance and support from him in their spiritual journey. Please welcome Sadhguru Siriak.
Namaskar to everyone, and I would like to express gratitude to the organizer. My name is Siriak. I'm originally from France, speaking to you from Germany Ashram. I'm a trustee of the Spiritual Science Research Foundation, known as SSRF, and it is an international non-profit organization, and that is based on all the knowledge and principle from India. And we have a website with more than 800 articles about spiritual practice, spirituality, about spiritual healing. And one of our core principles, that is diversity, is that there are as many paths to God as there are people on earth. And for that, SSRF offers a free platform so that it can be inclusion, people from all over the world, from all religion, all paths, can get practical guidance of how to grow as an individual. SSRF has more than 65 million viewers from all over the world. And I started my journey and I traveled to India for the first time in 1999, where I met my guru. And when I met him the first time, I have a deep and powerful spiritual experience is when I bowed to him and touched his feet. My body started shaking and I started sobbing. But when he touched my back, at that time, I experienced so much light that I became blind. I could not think for many minutes. But that gave me a very deep imprint in me that I realized how I have to do my whole life spiritual practice and how spirituality is important. And I moved to India along with my wife and my daughter, who was 4 years old, in 2009. And I lived there for 10 years in an ashram where I learned about spirituality and spiritual practice. And in the ashram, I learned the path of spiritual practice is called Guru Krupa, that is called Guru's Grace, as per that is founded by my guru. And the path incorporate the Ashtanga Sadhana, that is 8 steps of spiritual practice. And some of you may know it is chanting, that is seva, satsanga, that is overcoming defect of personality, how to reduce aham, to reduce ego, to develop spiritual emotion, how to develop sacrifice and priti, that is unconditional love. But what we emphasize is given to change oneself, and mainly how to overcome defect of personality and ego, and that is universal. Because in sadhana, in spiritual practice, we want to achieve manolai, buddhilai, that is dissolution of mind and intellect. And that is the only way by why we have so many problems today, was there is no inclusion or mutual respect, is because everybody is in ego, or everybody is towards themselves, self-centeredness, selfishness. And by working on overcoming defect within oneself, then only it is the only solution that we can develop unity, mutual respect. Because we have thousands of seekers who practice those steps of overcoming defect of personality, and it is a process. But automatically, when our incorrect behavior reduce or our ego reduce, then there is closeness, there is mutual respect, inclusion, acceptance. And that is the only solution, spiritual practice. And to change ourselves, we can't change anything. We can't change others. We can't change the world around us, but we can change ourselves. And only when people start changing themselves for the better, then only this Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam is possible to experience this oneness, this unity. And for me, it was a blessing to live in India, to live in an ashram for 10 years. And one day my guru called me and told me, Cyriac, it is over for you in India. It is time to go back to Europe, to spread spirituality, to travel, and I have to be able to help people what I learned about the principle of spirituality. So in 2019, I went back to Europe and we started to travel in a caravan. I will show you a couple of photos. We travel and I live in a caravan for 2 to 3 years. We travel across Europe, even during the Corona time, and we did more than 60,000 kilometers. And this was a very beautiful experience, because when you meet people from so many diverse backgrounds, that diversity, you realize that actually the world is one. We are all the same. Everyone has the same problem. Everyone is looking for solutions and ultimately looking for happiness. And during this tour, what I learned in the ashram, the knowledge, all the articles that we have published on the website came alive in front of me. It was like a visual display where I could see people looking for solution and not knowing the actually different spiritual root cause or how to change oneself, how to overcome the problem. And presently, we also have sense of SSRF, Her Holiness Bhavna Shinde, His Holiness Dan Glesix, who travel across Europe, USA, Canada, South America continuously, from city to city, to meet curious one-on-one and tell them about the importance of spiritual practice. We also have an active platform on our website where we conduct many lectures and live streams. And we have online satsang. We have more than 10 online satsang per day to be able to people and curious to come and learn. And we have this lab chat facility where we answer questions 7 by 7, because that is our principle, that everyone should be able to know about spirituality, get an answer, how and why, and how to put into practice. Because everyone should be able to get uplifted, to grow spiritually as an individual. And what I found when I travel across Europe is people need a place where they can find themselves to experience spirituality, because not everybody can travel to India or stay in India. And in 2021, we acquired an estate, and now we are presently establishing an ashram in Germany. And the aim of establishing the ashram in Germany is to bring this inclusion, to bring people from all around the world, because this is the only way we can learn to live in harmony, to live together. This is the only place. When we stay at home, we just become an individual, we become secluded, we become more self-centered. And only to be able to live in an ashram, we can learn mutual respect, thinking about others. And this is a place where we can work on ourselves. In the ashram, time is given to work on oneself, to change for the better. And this is only possible that only when individuals start to understand that only by changing oneself, everything will become a better place. But the importance is to spread spirituality, to tell others about the importance of spirituality. Spirituality is practical. It is to be put into practice. And just making an ashram is just not renovating a building, but for a person to change from inside, to grow spiritually, and to become a better person. And that only those words can become true. This inclusion, this mutual respect can happen. And I would like just to conclude that everything is possible, and all can happen only due to Guru's grace, Guru's blessing. And I express my gratitude unto my Guru, and I encourage you to visit SSRF website and do spiritual practice, experience inner change, and experience bliss. Namaskar to everyone.
Sadhguru Syriac, you're truly an inspiration to all of us, highlighting on the importance of changing self to bring about a change in the world. Thank you so much, Sadhguru. We would now like to present a small video on Vasudev Kutumbakam, made under the guidance of none other than Professor Shashi Balaji. Apologies, we are just playing the video in a moment. There's a small video on the theme of Vasudev Kutumbakam, which is, all of you know that this is the theme of India's G20 presidency, and this has been made with a lot of effort under the guidance of Professor Shashi Balaji. We would really want all of you to have a look at it and understand the Indian philosophy of Vasudev Kutumbakam. I assure you this wait will be worth the effort. So my apologies for the delay. We have tried to keep everything on time. Just in a moment, the video is being played. There's some technical issue. In the meanwhile, till the video is being played, may I please request Shri Ashok Pradhan Ji, Director of Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, Delhi Kendra, for his remarks. Shri Ashok Pradhan Ji. So if you can hear me. Sorry for the inconvenience. We're waiting for Ashok Pradhan sir to join us for his remarks. There's one thing I can say. This has truly been a blissful morning, enriching, enlightening, and illuminating. And Though the program will soon come to an end, I'm sure that the learnings, the teachings from today will stay with us forever. And I'm really hoping that each one of you enjoyed the program. Please raise your hands if you enjoyed the program. We have put in a lot of effort. This gives us a lot of motivation to continue doing such things in the future as well. And we really hope to see all of you again.
And,
I'm not giving the ending speech. I'm not giving
now
the...
can you, hello?
Hello,
Can you hear
Hanji.
me now?
Ji,
Is my voice
Ji,
coming?
sir. Ji, sir. Ji.
Okay.
Hanji.
Over
I'm
to Ashok
extremely-
Pradhan, sir.
I'm extremely impressed and delighted to see this online discussion on one of the most important aspects of India's cultural aspects being taken up by this government. The G20 has become one of the major principles or major method in which India's cultural aspect, the basic aspect, cultural aspect, are reaching to the knowledge of most of the countries in the world. And then Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which says Udar Charita Naam to Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, is something which can happen only to the people who have a very udar thinking and mind. And that is what is being reflected today's the Prime Minister in Modi ji, how he has taken it up to take forward India's cultural heritage and its basic principle that society, country, and the world are part of one single unit. They should not be different units, and everyone should be take care of everybody else in the world. And today, whatever politics has been taken over, taking India in the world for a very long time, one war, second war, third war, all this is being taken up because of the individual interest. Individual interest, I mean individual state, not of an individual person, but also the individual country. And if Udar Charita Naam to Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam becomes accepted principle all over the world, which is being tried now by us, it will mean that the entire world is one family. There may be different languages, there may be different religions, there may be different environment, atmosphere in which they are living. But once they think they are part of the same single world universe, then the amount of problems which are so much there between the countries and some countries must appear. And with this particular aspect, which my personal view I thought I'll share, I am extremely grateful to all the people who have joined us, especially Swami Paramanandi and others coming from different, from Germany, from many other countries who have joined today's program. And for organizing this program, I express my thankfulness, my thanking to Kannada Foundation and also Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan and Indian International Center for Cultural Studies. And for this, I also express my gratitude and thankfulness to Shashi Balaji, who has taken it forward. She being a head of the Anthology Department of the Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, she is doing a very, very important work in taking forward the India's basic cultural aspects in multiple areas in the entire country and abroad. With this, I again express my gratitude and thanks the lady who has conducted this program. I'm grateful to her for doing it so beautifully. And also all those people, scholars, thinkers, philosophers who have joined today's program and taking our objective forward. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I think the video is ready now. We'll play the Vasudev Kutumbakam video, which all of us have been waiting to watch.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, bye.
कुटुम्बकम् वसुधैव कुटुम्बकम् एक पृथ्वी एक परिवार विविधता में एकता इसका आधार
ऋषियों का मानव को वरदान
इस मूल मंत्र से जन्म कितने महान वसुधैव कुटुम्बकम् वसुधैव कुटुम्बकम् वसुधैव कुटुम्बकम्
आइए बस दोबारा करूं क्या?
आदि गुरु शंकराचार्य के भाष्य में
दिखाई दे रही है फिर?
मार्ग प्रशस्त तो कबीरदास के दोहे ने किया अज्ञान का असर। तुलसीदास चौपाइया ने गोस्वामी कहलाए, विवेकानंद अपने तेज से विश्व भर में छाए। इन संतजनों के दिखाए मार्ग पर आओ चले हम।
वसुधैव कुटुम्बकम् वसुधैव कुटुम्बकम् वसुधैव कुटुम्बकम् माता है पृथ्वी हम उसके संतान धरा से जुड़े फर्जों पर दे अपना ध्यान
प्रण लेकर आओ करें जग का उत्थान।
होगी मानव की
हेलो हेलो, आपको डिस्टर्ब कर, आप बिजी होंगे आज बहुत। हाँ नहीं, जब भी आप फ्री हो तो बात करिएगा।
हेलो, नहीं आ रही है? आ रही है? नहीं आ रही? अच्छा, मैं दोबारा करती हूँ।
We believe in the Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, whole world is family.
अब आई क्या? ठीक।
कुटुम्बकं वसुधैव कुटुम्बकं वसुधैव वसुधैव कुटुम्बकम् आओ मिलकर से अपनाए द्वेष की दीवार गिराए
The burning wall has now fallen. I have a dream. It is in your hands now.
इससे भर जाएगा हिंसा का घाव दूर होगा हम सबका भेदभाव टूटे टुकड़ों को जोड़ बन जाएंगे हम.
Jamaica was able to secure its first life-saving vaccines from India. India's vaccine outreach exemplified its principles of equality and mutual benefit. We are deeply grateful and remain so to the government and people of India.
वसुधैव कुटुम्बकम् वसुधैव कुटुम्बकम् एक पृथ्वी एक परिवार विविधता में एकता इसका
ऋषियों का मानव को वरदान
इस मंत्र से जन्म कितने महान वसुधैव कुटुम्बकम् वसुधैव कुटुम्बकम् वसुधैव कुटुम्बकम्.
आदिगुरु शंकराचार्य के भाष्य ने किया मार्ग प्रशस्त, तो कबीरदास के दोहे ने किया अज्ञान का अस्त. तुलसीदास चौपाइया ले गोस्वामी कहलाए, विवेकानंद अपने तेज से विश्व भर में छाए. इन संतजनों के दिखाए मार्ग पर आओ चले हम.
वसुधैव कुटुम्बकम् वसुधैव कुटुम्बकम् वसुधैव कुटुम्बकम्. माता है पृथ्वी हम उसके संतान, धरा से जुड़े फर्जों पर दे अपना ध्यान।
यह प्रण लेकर आओ करें जग का उत्थान।
होगी मानव की प्रगति अध्यात्म का पुनरुत्थान।
कुटुम्बकं वसुधैव कुटुम्बकं वसुधैव कुटुम्बकं वसुधैव कुटुम्बकं।
कुटुम्बकम्।
Wasn't it a beautiful film showcasing the different facets of rich Indian culture and traditions, and the uniquely Indian philosophy of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which reiterates our commitment to peaceful coexistence with the world. I would now like to request Sri Rajesh Mishra ji, Registrar of Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, for proposing the vote of thanks. Rajesh Mishra, sir, if you could propose the vote of thanks.
Is he there?
Ma'am, I can't see him.
I think he has left. I don't see him here. So anyway, I'm grateful to all the gurus to show us the path of being together, living in peace, harmony, loving each other, having compassion for others, because we are the children of Mother Earth. Mata Bhumi, Putro Aham Prithivyaha. So this world is divine. Everybody who is born in this world has a divine spark. Isha Vasyam Idam Sarvam Yat Kincha Jagatyam Jagat. So let us hope to walk together on the path that is shown by the Gurus. Hopefully, this world will be beautiful to live in. Only this spiritual path, I think, so far, what I have seen, what I've experienced, what I have learned, what I've studied is the best path to have a beautiful world. So far as you go back to thousands of years, around at least a history of 1,000 years, you will see that India was the cultural leader of the world because the gurus, the acharyas, they discovered and taught the path of peace, compassion, sacrifice, loving kindness. So let us imbibe some the philosophy of life that is given, that is bequeathed by the gurus, and the path is shown once again, taking it forward by the present gurus. So I thank you all. I thank all the gurus. I thank all those who have joined us on this very special occasion. Let us be together. Let us be happy, healthy. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I once again extend our deepest gratitude to all the gurus for showing us the light from a spiritual path, which will help us to be a part of the movement to build a peaceful and progressive world, helping humanity to live in peace and harmony. We are confident that through this program, the voice of our spiritual leaders will reach the G20 nations and the world and showcase the inherited spiritual strength of our country for building a progressive and inclusive world through the light shown by our most revered gurus. I would like to end this blissful program by a prayer. Please join me as we recite Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu.
So thank you all.
Thank you so much.
Let's be together again for the next program.
बहुत बहुत आभार शशि बालाजी बुलाने के लिए डॉक्टर
Thank you. Let's be together again on the same platform.
Namaskar to everyone.
From Norway.
We can go.
So namaste to everyone.
Thank you. Namaskar.
Namaskar.
Thank you so much.
We will share the video on the YouTube channel.